than many developed economies.
Question number 3, Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Does he stand by his promise to New Zealanders that, quote, I expect high standards from my ministers. If they don't meet the standards I set, then obviously I will take action if necessary, end quote. If so, how have his actions in respect of the Honourable John Banks this year upheld that promise?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Yes.
I understand the point of order because the question actually went more than just asking whether the Prime Minister stood by his statement, and it is a primary question. It asked, if so, how have his actions in respect of the Honourable John Banks this year upheld that promise? And it is a primary question. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Yes, where there have been questions raised by my office has sought and received assurances from Mr Banks.
Grant Robertson.
Question, Mr. Speaker. With some months to reflect, doesn't he think he owed it to New Zealanders to actually read the police report into John Banks's donations so that he could make a judgment on the facts as to whether Mr Banks was meeting the high standards he promised New Zealanders?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
No.
Grant Robertson.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker. Why does he not think Mr Banks has lied when Mr Banks told his Chief of Staff earlier this year that he had not received a donation from Kim.com, but only a couple of months earlier had told Mr .com's lawyer that he could not help him because of the election support?
The Right Honourable
Speaker,
Prime
because
Minister.
where questions have been raised by my office, we've sought assurances and received those assurances.
Supplementary question. How can he claim Mr Banks has not lied when Mr Banks did not declare a donation from Sky City Limited despite receiving it in an envelope at a meeting organised specifically to hand over the cheque, and when his campaign treasurer sent a receipt for the donation to Sky City?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, my memory of the PR that was put out by the police was that there wasn't a prima facie case in that instance.
Grant Robertson.
Isn't it the case that he's just putting politics before principle to try to hang on to John Banks's vote, and he's broken the promise he made to New Zealanders?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
No.
Question,
Grant
Mr.
Robertson.
Speaker. If the Prime Minister is keeping his promise of high ethical standards for ministers, why did he not ask John Banks to explain why he said, quote, no, I don't know, to the question of whether he knew Kim.com had donated to his mayoral campaign when the police file shows that Mr Banks sought the donation, he made suggestions to split it into two, he thanked Mr .com for it, and he acknowledged to Mr .com's lawyer in February this year that he had received it?
The Right Honourable Prime
Speaker,
Minister.
I have no ministerial responsibility for anything Mr Banks did prior to becoming a minister.
Question number 4, Colin King.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Science and Innovation.